Hey there YouTubers, this is Josie Barra with my first ever Let's Build video with the high-grade Gundam Age 1, brought to you by GG Infinite News. Make sure to visit GG Infinite News to get your daily fix on all things Gundam. Okay, so let's go ahead and start the Let's Build. We'll open it up, get to the first page over here. Starting over here, we'll go ahead and pour out the parts for the chest. So we're going to start with these two pieces, the shoulder areas, that are a bit like the shoulders from the Ashtray, in my opinion. And I do enjoy those shoulders. I actually am trying to use them in a custom right now. I like this design. This is a good way to start out a model. And we'll grab the A2 piece right here. Let's see. Goes in. Do I have the right piece? Yes, I do. Goes in like this, alongside facing the back of the chest. Put on the front piece. I guess now is a good time for me to talk about how much I enjoy the color separation on this kit. It's really good. Like, the whole sections in the chest area. We'll go ahead and grab this neck collar, the yellow part. Put that in. That's another of the good pieces there. You see it sticks out of the bottom, and the red pegs on this red stomach area go on there. Looking pretty nice so far. And now back to the color separation. Like I'm saying, this part here that goes in there, that's pretty good. The color separation on the chest. Normally I would expect to have to paint at least some of the parts on there. Obviously the inside isn't colored in that bright color, but there's a sticker for that. I will not be using the sticker, but there is a sticker for it. We'll go ahead and grab the neck polycap and put it in up here. And then this stomach joint, put in the ball joint there, and put it in like that. Pretty nice. And now we'll go ahead and get this part here, a nice looking spoiler. Or, it's not the spoiler, it's like a vent that goes inside the spoiler, which is pretty darn cool, because like I said, with all the nice color separation, you get the gray vents back there, and the little boosters. It's pretty nice. Then this part here, another little booster. Just get this polycap, plug it in, and put it back there. So as a lot of people have said, with the Gundam Age 1 Normal being the first from the high-grade age line, we're expecting it to be a pretty good model. And so far, I'm actually thinking it's ending up pretty good. And the colors really remind me of the original RX-78. And right here, this is a weird shape. It's the same as that part in the chest, but it came completely separated. I assumed it goes into the chest, but there's really nowhere to put it. So go ahead and set that over there, and we will do the waist. Actually, no. I guess we'll go ahead and do the arms. This arm here is the right arm. So we'll start up with the top of the shoulder area. Get it in here, like that. Put on this cover for it. I can already tell these arms are going to end up pretty cool just by that. We'll go ahead and put on the cover of the arm. Of the shoulder, I mean. Here it is. Alright, there's that. Looking pretty darn good. Plain white up there, but still nice and clean. Next we'll get these two parts, these gray ones. Just enter one of these polycaps. I think it's polycap 11 on this sheet. I'm not sure about any other polycap sheets. And let's see. It'll go like this. We get this piece here, put in this polycap, and this polycap, and this one here on this side, ball joint facing this direction. So far, pretty nice arms, and they do have an interesting feature that I will show off in a minute when I get to the torso, or not the torso part of the arm, but the frontal part. See, right here, this part goes on like this, and you can attach the shield on the back. But actually, when you want to attach it on the side, you just pull it off and slide it back on like that. That's pretty cool. Like, that's an interesting design that I like. For now, we'll go ahead and leave it on the back side. Go ahead and put the hand cover on. Put that in there. So you see there, it's like a little arm guard, and you can even do this while the hand is still in there. So, I like that. It's a very good feature, actually. I would like to see more models doing something like that. Now another one of these flat round polycaps in the upper area of this arm. There we go. And it will just plug in like this on the shoulder. And then, let's see, just like that. And then, like so. And now, you have a nice double jointed arm. And that is really awesome for a high grade, especially when you're used to all of the high grade 00 Gundams like I am. Go ahead and stick that on there. And the model is looking pretty darn good to me. Alright, now we'll go ahead and flip this open, and we will look at the next arm. This arm is the left arm, of course, and we'll start from the bottom this time with the two separate hands. Here's the hand, the open hand, and the cover for it. The wrist is actually kind of at an angle there, so when it's in there, I guess it's facing down a little bit. It's kind of cool. I think I'll be able to pull off some nice grabbing Gaffron's face poses with this. Now, we'll go ahead, get these two here, put in this polycap up top, and then, where did it go? Here it is. This one right here. Sandwich the other half on. Slide that arm cover back on there. Go ahead and put in the open hand. We will put on the hand cover for this hand. This is basically a simple hand. No angles or anything like the other part. Then we'll get this piece, these two pieces. Get that flat polycap, the same one from before. Make sure it goes into those correct slots, otherwise the arm will be pretty loose. And then, let's see how you do it. Make sure, when you're doing it, the instructions say that how there's a little opening on this side, make sure it faces away from the kit. Then this part here, put that polycap in. Just like so. Go ahead and do this. Putting that polycap in the shoulder inner frame area. Putting the cover on it. And then we'll go ahead and put on the cover for the shoulder. And so far, the articulation for this kit is pretty on par with the 00. And from my experience, the 00 Gundam itself was one of the most well-articulated Gundams I've seen. I haven't been building for too long, but when I did start building, it was already when Season 2 of Gundam 00 was done airing, I believe. Try to get that in there. It's not going in. Wonder why. What's wrong? Come on. Oh, these parts aren't closed enough. So I guess that's another pointer. Just make sure those two parts are closed enough. Now we'll go ahead and stick this part on the kit too. You can see it's already looking really darn nice. And here's the extra hand. Set those over there again. And now, the instructions say to start doing the legs next, but actually I'm thinking I will go ahead and do the waist over in this area. Just because, to me, it makes a little more sense. I could do the waist, and then I'll do the legs, and then finally I'll end up with the head, and we'll do the weapons. So here's the waist, and if you see in there, that is a lot of parts for a waist. At least from my experience. Sorry about that. At least from my experience, this is a lot of parts for the waist. We'll start out with these two pieces here. Looking pretty good. Now we'll take this polycap, put it in there. Make sure it's straight, that is. And then we sandwich on this top part. Let me get a good look at it. There we go. Just like that. Then we'll get this piece here. Make sure the round side goes facing the correct direction. Put it in. And you see the separate little waist articulation there. Looking pretty darn good. I'm going to go ahead, put the waist cover on. Tiny there, but it goes into that little hole for the action base. Next step is we get these two parts for the front skirts. Let me see which parts the front skirts are. They are these two. And the back skirts and the front skirts actually look very similar to me. There are slight differences in them, but it's pretty hard to see them. These yellow pieces here usually come separate, but I decided to put them together. Wow, that's the wrong skirt. You see, they're hard for me to tell the difference in. The back skirts and the front skirts, that is. So, there's that. And we will go ahead, grab this piece here, put them both in, and we'll slide this on the front. Maybe that's not the front. Nope, pretty sure that's the front. Ah! Look at me having difficulties. Oh boy, I was expecting this to go better. I should know better of myself by now. Yep, turns out the other side was the front. My bad. Put that little red piece up front. And you see right there, those skirts do look a lot like the RX-78-2. Now, we'll look at the back skirts, get this section here, and get these other two skirt pieces, and slap them on here. Then we get this piece, put it in there. Well, actually, here. Get this piece first. Slide it in. And then over on the back, we'll grab it, pull it out, and slide it up. So there's a little hatch mechanism. That's pretty neat looking. That is actually really darn cool in my opinion. Little hatch. I'm sure the gun goes on there. Maybe another type of weapon. Put this polycap up here. And then these two sections, the side skirts, we'll slide that in there. Over on this one too, slide those little polycaps in there. Now the side skirts do have slots in there for the beam sabers, but I will save the weapons for the weapons section of the Let's Build. Slide them into that polycap hole. Go in from the top, not from the sides. And there's that, looking pretty good. I like that. And, alright, slide or pop that on there. It's a ball joint at the low waist, and that looks really good to me. Looks a lot like the 78-2. Okay, now we'll do the legs. So let me see which leg this is. I believe this leg here is the right leg. And in the instructions for the legs, we're gonna start out with the foot. So we get the top half of the foot here. Slide this polycap in, the round one that I normally expect to see on either feet or hip areas. Slap it onto the red section of the bottom of the foot. And then it goes up to the top area where the hip is. This part here, get a polycap that slides in up top. And then another one of these flat ones that goes in down here. And you got to make sure to plug it into these notches, otherwise it'll not fit correctly. This part up here on the front, go in like that. Actually, oops, skipped a step. Alright, so this part here is what's next, actually. So that part slides in like that. Then this part will sandwich on top of it. And now we put this part on. Just like that. And then this back section here. And now the instructions say we move down here to the lower leg section. And we're going to put one of these polycaps in here with the rectangular hole up here at the top. And then one of these, just a regular polycap to me, down there at the bottom. And then you sandwich them together. Looking pretty nice. Now we get this piece here. It just slides right on like that. And now this section, it will actually end up being the ankle armor. So we'll put it in there, pop in the ankle armor on a little ball joint in there. It's a little loose. Still works though. Alright, now we'll do this upper hip section. Plug in the polycap. Just like that. Not fitting in just right. There we go. And now we'll slide on the other half, the half that has the peg on it. Sandwich them together really tight. Now we'll go ahead and slap all the separate parts together. Not the biggest fan of that ankle armor there. Might change my mind later on. So there's that, the whole ankle section. That looks pretty good. Other than that ankle armor, I'm pretty happy with the leg. So yeah, it's pretty on par with 00. I don't want to keep comparing this Gundam to 00's, but honestly, those are the most recent models I've been building lately, and I've got to say they're pretty comparable. Like a lot of the same types of articulation and ways that it's all put together. So there you go. More of the model looking pretty RX-78-2-ish. Alright, now we'll move on to the left leg. And basically we're just repeating that entire process all over again. Might do it in a slightly different order this time though. I have to admit, I like the idea of this ankle armor. Like, I've always liked ankle armor when it's separately articulated. But, I've got to say, I don't think it was executed perfectly. It's still pretty cool, but definitely not the best. But I wouldn't be able to say what is the best, honestly. Like, in my opinion, it would be the Gundam I would come up with. But then again, I haven't ever designed a Gundam, even though I know I would like to. So, on a more related subject, I don't want to talk about my feelings towards Gundam Age, the series that is, at least until the show comes out, and then I will probably make a video talking about it. But until then, I just want to concentrate on the models, because so far I'm actually really liking these models. I know, of course, I'm only building this one, and this is my first Gundam Age model, and it's actually pretty enjoyable. I do always love new model kits, but for some reason, this one's actually pretty cool. Maybe it's because this is the first time I've actually built a model, like, as the series was coming out. Unlike when I started with 00, sad to mention that again, like I've said, but when I started getting into 00 and Gundam altogether, it was actually after Gundam 00 was done airing. At least Season 1, I'm not sure about Season 2. So now, I'm actually here at the beginning of the new age. And it does feel pretty good. Like, I definitely love being part of this Gundam community. Alright, so now plug that in, turn it around like that, and plug that into the knee. If I could just get it just right. There we go. So perfect. More of that awesome articulation there. A really good articulation. Like, I'm very impressed. And this part, I've always loved that joint. And you can tell by the polycap in there, and this slot up here, it's going to be able to bend like that too. Actually, I can probably go ahead and show you that. Whoosh. Pretty darn cool. Just like the 00, it can pull off some pretty cool looking splits. Alright, so now we're going to move on to the head, and then we'll take a look at the weapons. And I do have them all together, so we'll just slap them down there, and we'll separate them real quick. Doo-doo-doo. Alright, now the head does have a lot of parts, and a lot of teeny tiny parts. And the head's all the way over here on the instructions. So, let's start with this back section here. Then we get the red part for the face that does have the chin and the part below the eyes and above the face mask. See there? More of that really good color separation that I am beginning to expect from these high-grade age kits. And I really hope they do continue to implement this in the high-grade age kits. Well, where's that supposed to go? I'm pretty sure I'm using the right one. But maybe not. Alright, there we go. Slides in just like that, so it's popping out in the front of the face area. Then it just sandwiches onto the back of the head, like so. Now this is a really cool looking feature to me, is this. The gray parts on the head is a separate piece. That's really cool. Like on the 00 models, where those would usually be a GN color, you would always have to paint them. And that's a separate color. That's pretty cool. And here's the V-fin / forehead camera section. So there's the Gundam high-grade age kit's head, with some really good color separation for just a simple head. Very, very, very nice to me. And we'll just slap that on the kit, and now you see a pretty much complete Gundam Age, looking pretty awesome to me. Now, I'm not going to take the time to put them in a cool pose, but we'll set them right there while I put together the weapons. So now, we'll start with the shield, because I do love me some shields. You take this white section for the shield cover, the polycap goes right in like that, and then you just sandwich on the gray, just like so. Then this part, and look at that, that is nice. Like, you see the A there for Gundam Age, just like the chest and on the forehead, and the knees actually too. Pretty cool. And now here's the connector for it. And once again, I would like to point out this super cool articulation thing, where the front of the wrist guard comes off and you can switch it to the side. Very nice. Like, very, very nice. I love that. And I love that shield. Very good shield. Alright, now we'll move on to the blaster. The blaster instructions are down here at the bottom of the page. So you start out with this piece here. You get the extra handle. You plug it in like that, so it's facing upward. Then this part here sandwiches on. Now we move over to this section. Holding it like this, we slide this part here on the back. Just like that. Make sure it goes on correctly. And then this part, the angle facing backwards, slides on. That didn't stay on, which is most likely my fault. There we go. That's better. And now the barrel up here just goes on perfectly round so you can spin it. And now you put it on there. And well, I didn't sandwich it all the way. You slide it in like that, which is pretty cool. And the handle will slide down. I like having two handles, but the way they are like this, you wouldn't be able to hold them right. It's a good thing why the gun can. You pull it, and you switch it sideways. Once again, sorry to say it, but it does remind me of the 00 Gundam's Geon Sword 2s, how they switched like that. I'll just put that in, slide it like that, and get the hand cover, or the hand, pull the cover off, put it on. Just like that. Where'd the hand cover go? Here it is. There's that, and now we will slide it on. That's pretty cool. The arm fits in there quite perfectly. Slap that shield back on real quick. Alright, and now my favorite part of this kit, if you've seen my unboxing, is the beam sabers. So over here I have 4 beam saber blades, 2 long ones and 2 short ones. Then of course there are the 2, they are a little plain but they're still pretty cool, the blade handles. Just slap a short one in this one and a long one in this other one. So you can see how pretty cool that is. I love these short ones. And they do have the same type of hole as the Exias and other things from 00. So something I've been wanting to do for a while is actually get a short beam saber for my Exia. That's cool. I like that. And now we'll go ahead and we will slide these into the side skirts. So, pretty simple and easy. Reminds me a little bit of the strike in this way. And so that is the Gundam High Grade Age 1 Normal. That is a really nice model. I guess so far there aren't really any problems I've seen with it other than the ankle articulation, and that's actually not that bad. That's just a personal little gripe that they're a little not to my liking, but other than that though, like, they work well. I don't know. So there's that, and I'll go ahead and show you the stickers real quick right there. See these 2 black ones, they're kind of A-shaped. They would go here and here. And then obviously that one, which will go in the chest, and another one that would go on the forehead camera, another one for the back of the camera, one for the eyes, one right there for the gun, and that's it. And now what I'll be doing is detailing and maybe painting a little bit And then I will do the full kit review for this guy. Alright guys, thanks for watching this. I hope you liked it.